Hold that shit up, fool. It's out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crossover Podcast. Today, it is New Music Friday. A lot has happened in the hiatus. We've been gone for a little over 2 weeks. Tyler the Creator dropped Chromacopia. Lil Uzi dropped Eternal Take 2. Ken Carson dropped a single last night. And most importantly of all, Young Thug is freed. Thank you, Brian Steele. You are a legend. He's on 15 years of probation. But Young Thug is freed. Hopefully we hear some new music from him soon. Let's just get right into it. The Tyler review will be in another video. Today we'll be talking about Delusional, the new Ken song, and Eternal Take 2. So just my quick thoughts on Delusional. I like the track. It's a promotional single for his upcoming album, More Chaos, which is the sequel to A Great Chaos. A Great Chaos was a great album. I think it had some very high highs. It's definitely Ken's best album, in my opinion. It was one of my favorites of 2023. One of my complaints about Ken is that I want to see him mature a little bit and move on from this sound. Well, it is a great sound, and I think the music is not getting old. It's still good to see an artist evolve, and the people in the TikTok comments didn't agree with me when I said that, but I feel like artistically, like, he's under Cardi's label, and Cardi is he's one of the best creatives that I think we've seen in a while in the rap game. And I would like to see Ken follow that same trajectory, and I think so far in his career he has. But if he's releasing another album that sounds so similar to A Great Chaos, I don't know how I feel about it. I think the album will sound good, and I like Delusional a lot. I like the production on it. It's building on that grungy sound. Ken's flows were catchy. It's added to my playlist. It's a good song. The cover is also really sick too. But I don't know how I feel about him sticking with that same sound. That's all I'll say on that. So, moving on to Eternal Take 2. This rollout kind of came out of nowhere. Uzi teased it 10-ish days ago. And here we are, the album released last night at midnight, of course. And I had high hopes going into it. I had really high hopes. I thought that this would be one of his best albums to date. Or I was hoping. And I saw the track list, 0 features. One feature, Big Time Rush, but arguably that isn't even a feature. So I'll get right into it, and I'll start off with the good. So the first 2 tracks, We Good and Light Year, are probably in my top 5. Definitely in my top 4. They're 2 of my favorite songs. I think it had really good production on that, and Uzi's performances were really good. Those 2 songs kind of reminded me of old Uzi. I don't want to use that term, but it did. It reminded me of Eternal Take. It reminded me kind of the Love Is Rage 2 days, and it was very refreshing to hear that Uzi back. But I do wish he kind of built on that sound that was on the first 2 tracks a little bit more, because we didn't really hear any production that sounded like that on the rest of the album, which I was disappointed by. The Lightyear beat kind of reminded me of a Gabe beat. It was a very up-tempo, if anyone's familiar with the Gabe and Filthy songs, rave type beat with the very up-tempo synths, which I liked, and Uzi was flowing, and I liked it a lot. But then we get to track 3, and of course, why are we putting Lil 88 on our albums? Why? I knew as soon as I heard that basic hi-hat pattern that everyone knows, I knew it was Lil 88, and the beat is just not doing it for me. And whoever introduced Lil Uzi to Nitrous, they deserve 1,000 years in jail, because you can tell on this album that his brain is fried. He doesn't have that same creativity that he had in his prime days of Love Is Rage 2, even Eternal Take. 1629, the unreleased song. Like I feel like it's noticeable that he doesn't have that level of creativity, and he doesn't have that level of he's not that level of rapper anymore. And I honestly do think it's the nitrous. Like, we heard what Vultures 2 sounded like with Kanye on the nitrous for most of it. And whoever introduced him to nitrous, you deserve the worst, because I really do think that it's fried Uzi's brain, and I think that it fried Lil 88's brain too. He makes trash music now. His beats actually used to be good. He produced Veteran. He produced a lot of the stuff on Project X and early Ken Carson. But it fried his brain. Now he doesn't know. Now he can't physically make an interesting drum pattern, and all it is the basic hi-hats and the corny outros. I just really, really do wish the best for Uzi. Hopefully he's off of that, and I just had to add that in. And Uzi's production wasn't great on that. I think Meteor Man is a skip. But overall, I think that the production was lacking. The first two songs were really well produced. I also really liked the Black Hole instrumental. But as a whole, the album lacked beats that grab me and that kind of get my attention. And to me, when I'm listening to a rapper like an Uzi or a Cardi or a Ken, I'm looking for the production more. You know, you're not getting much lyrically from them. But when the production is lacking and the lyrical content is lacking, like it is on EA2, it just makes it hard to want to go back. And I feel like this is one of Uzi's weakest lyrical albums. And he's not a Kendrick Lamar by any means, and I know that. But this was a different Uzi that I don't think we've heard before, and not in a good way. I think we heard a lot of repetitive bars and a lot of repetition, which you kind of know you're getting with an Uzi album. But this was too much. For example, The Rush, the song with the Big Time Rush feature, I thought that was good. He experimented with a deep voice, which I liked, and it had some potential. I liked the drum pattern, I liked the melody, but he repeated The Rush probably 50 times over the course of the song, that phrase, The Rush, and it just loses all of its replay value. I feel like that song could have been cut down. A few songs are a little bit too long, but I don't know, I just was expecting something that I don't think we got. So, building on, I know I just talked about some of my complaints, but building on the highs of the album, Chill Bay was a really good song. It's very catchy. It's not something that we've really heard Uzi make before, a song like that. I also kind of like Perky Sex a little bit. That's another, it kind of like an R&B, up-tempo R&B song that Uzi experimented with those two, and I think he did it pretty well. In Chill Bay, I think it's extremely catchy. In my head, it's just been on repeat. I like the beat on that one too. It was interesting to see Uzi experiment in this way, and I feel like we've seen a lot of experimentation with Uzi lately, and maybe not in the best way, because I like to say that I like to see artists evolve. I like when an artist makes an album worth releasing. So don't just pick 15 or 20 random songs. Like, I want it to be cohesive and have a story behind it, especially with someone like Uzi who did a really good job in the promotion. I think that the album lacks the cohesion, and I thought the promotion was really cool. The idea of Uzi the Earthling, that he's kind of got abducted and he's in this other world. I thought that was really cool, but there was no skits, there was no intros, there was no interludes that built on that, and I think that was kind of lost in the final product, which is a complaint of mine. Because I feel like all that promotion is just wasted. And the music video for Chill Bay was very cool. I thought that was a very cool concept of what he did there. As I was saying, an album should be something that an artist has a reason to release. Don't just release an album just because. And I know that there are label contracts, but Uzi's at the point in his career where I don't think that really determines whether he drops an album. I think it's whether he wants to or not. And here, you expected him to come back with a kind of fire. And Pink Tape wasn't, I feel like it's pretty universally agreed upon that Pink Tape wasn't a great project. So I thought that he would come back fiery and with something to prove. And for comparison, like, I feel like Drake is someone who had to prove something to me in the past few years, and when I heard For All the Dogs, I said, okay, this is a really good project. I didn't love Her Lost that much. I didn't love Honestly Nevermind for a Drake album that much. But when I heard For All the Dogs, it's like, okay, he's rapping with the fire, he's rapping with a purpose, and I don't think that that's the case here. I think songs like Pars in the Mars were a complete skip. I think Conceited is one of the worst songs that he has ever put out. I'm not a big fan of Goddard's song. And overall, I just don't think he left us with a lot of material to go back to. And I have 5 songs favorited, a few put in my playlist, but it's just disappointing because you have an artist like Uzi who myself, along with a lot of people my age, grew up with and grew up listening to and really loved. And I know I'm not alone in saying that I miss the Love is Rage 2 days. I even miss the Eternal Take days. And Eternal Take's not my favorite album, but this Eternal Take runs laps around EA2. And I don't think it really captured the essence of what Eternal Take 1 was and built off of it. I think it's just another project. Like, if you made up a random name and told me that was the title of EA2, I would believe it, because I don't see any correlation between EA1 and EA2. And for someone like Uzi, who has all of the resources that he does available, why is the production how it sounds? Why don't you have better beats? Why is Brandon Finessin still on half of the songs? And I've never heard of Cashmere Cat before yesterday night, so I'm not here to hate on him. The melodies that on the songs that he's on are all very strong, but then, like, can we have some Filthy or Pierre or Out of Town? Any of the newer age producers that kind of help pioneer a sound, Starboy, Neil World, anyone. I think there's so many options that we can go to if you're Uzi, and you just fall back into what you're maybe most comfortable with. Bottom line is, he's not pushing boundaries. He's not pushing his sound. He's not pushing a sound. Finally, I'm sure that if you've made it here, you can tell that I'm disappointed, but I feel like I have a lot of reason to be disappointed as someone who is a very loyal Uzi fan. And I went into the album with an open mind. Like I said, it started off extremely strong, but I think it just lost its footing. I don't really know what's next for Uzi. When he releases another album, I will be there for it, because, like I said, I'm a fan of him. But at this point, like, my expectations are they were here and now they're here, because Pink Tape, not many songs that I go back to on that one. Same case for EA2. I do think and hope that he releases a deluxe, how he did with the first Eternal Take, maybe some features on it, maybe some leaks. That would be a nice little surprise. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. From my friends that I've talked to about this and the reaction I've seen online, it's pretty similar. I don't know of many people who enjoyed this album the full way through. And if you do, Uzi's probably your favorite rapper, and that's fine. But happy to be back. Tyler, the Creator Chromacopia review will be out soon. Let me know, what were your favorite songs on EA2? What would you rate it? What did you think? Are you disappointed? Do you think we're getting a deluxe? Let me know. Like, comment, share, everything. Subscribe. Thank you for watching. This is a shorter video, shorter review, because I feel like it's a lot more digestible than maybe a 30-minute album review. So try the shorter format out and let me know what you guys think. What is EA2? Drop your rating in the comments. See you in the next video.
Without these plies, baby. Boy, I might dap you like good trap, baby. Big B living, baby. Them boys on my left throwing no C's. I promise them I'ma